Hello again, everybody. Welcome back. Sam Tom Miller here. We are continuing our line of Phantom of the Opera versions. We've got 6 versions plus one bonus video that's going to go on my Patreon. That's not really a Phantom of the Opera movie, but it kind of feels like it might be. Today we're talking about the 1943 version. This one that Universal throws into its classics collection, even though it's not so classic. It's not great. Also, just a point of note before we move on. Not important, but his mask is green in this one. Every other version it's white, and that one is it's weird. I don't like it. Also, just to know, the noises you're hearing are the couch. It's just the couch creaking. So you could tell if you're looking at the numbers, I don't like this one. The Phantom in this version is not a love interest, at least not in the way he is in the other ones. There's some implications, and apparently at one point it was going to be more explicit, but they took it out, that he is her father. That Eric is actually her father, that for some reason she, I don't know, was taken from him, or they lost contact, or for whatever reason they got separated. And so in this version, he's not as much in love with her. He's definitely kind of obsessed with her. You might say infatuated. But even when she's like down in his tomb or whatever, he's not like making advances on her. This is the only one where like you actually see him trying to teach her and giving her instruction on how to be better. Whereas every other version is just like, yeah, he teaches her. But like we never see how or why or what he does. So in this version, the 1925 version, we got like no backstory for him. That was another reason why I think he's good. No explanation. He's just there. In this version, he was just a regular guy, played in the orchestra, and throughout Christine's life, he has been paying for her lessons with another teacher. So he's not teaching her directly throughout most of the story. He is paying a very highly qualified teacher to teach her for free. So she is not having to pay for these lessons. There's some other stuff that he's doing for her that I can't recall offhand. But basically he is, watching out for her. He's trying to help her along from the shadows, from behind the scenes. So like she knows him as a violinist in the orchestra, but like she doesn't know who he is really. Raoul sucks in this version. You can see down here, all of these are ranked last. That's not 6 points out of 6. That's of the 6 versions we're looking at. These are my 6th favorite. So the worst ones. Raoul is just constantly telling her what to do. And again, the Phantom is not a love interest in this. We have another character called Garon. Garon? I don't remember how they pronounce it. I'm going to call him Garon because I don't want to try to roll that R every time. But Garon is like a cop, and Raoul is, I think he's just a guy. There's a baritone that's also in the opera with her. That seems like he's kind of involved. I can't remember if that's Raoul or not, or a third guy. But Garin, I think, is like not interested in opera at all, just interested in Christine. Raoul either is involved in the opera or he's interested. I think I'm... No, you know what? I think I'm confusing it with the 1962 version. Because that one was in color. This one's in black and white. So, take all that out. Raoul's a guy. Garon's a guy. Neither of them are in the opera. I think Garon enjoys the arts, appreciates the arts more. Or not Garon, Raoul. Garon does not. Garon's the cop. Usually Raoul is some kind of cop or soldier or count or something. But in this, they split it in two. It's very confusing. As you can tell, I can't even remember it. This is the first one that I watched of all these, by the way. for this project. This one, if you didn't see my last video, this was my entry point into Phantom years and years ago. But in this project, this was the first one I watched, thinking that it was the classic one, because that's how it's marketed in this whole collection of classic Universal monsters. This is the one that's included in there, not the classic Lon Chaney one. So after I watched that one, I decided I would look up this one, which I did. This one seems to have more of a focus on the actual music in the story. Where, you know, like this one, obviously it's a musical, so there's lots of music in it, but not all of it is story. The music that's actually in the story is just music that the audience is experiencing. I have a couple notes that just says, that man was not playing violin, that man was not playing piano, because there's like weird shots where the actor's miming playing the violin, but it just doesn't match up with the sounds that you're hearing. Not a huge deal. Let's talk about the ages. So as I explained in my previous video, I'm tracking the ages for the characters throughout all of these, just because sometimes it's a little bit weird. So here we have Garen being 42. The actor was 42 at the time of the film. Christine was 19, and Raoul was 36. So Christine, 19, yes, technically an adult, but much younger than the previous version. And Garen is more than twice her age, 23 years older than the 19-year-old. And even Raoul, who's much younger, still nearly twice her age. So, as I said in my last one, I don't have an issue with age gaps in relationships if it's two consenting adults. But here, both of these guys are constantly fighting for Christine, and she goes out with both of them, but like, she never really, she's not proactive in any of it, so it's not like she's showing them a lot of interest. They're just constantly on her. And when you're that much older than someone, just chill out a little bit. If they want to see other people, let them. But these two guys are constantly fighting over each other over her. And it's really creepy and gross, and I don't like it. Playing, what does that say? Oh, so I wrote this note for this movie, but it happens in almost all of them. When the fandom takes Christine down towards the end, and like the people are chasing them, and almost every single one of these, he starts playing either the piano or the organ, whatever's down there. And it's just like, it's a horrible way to hide, man. It's playing really loud music. And this one has no masquerade. I don't remember if it had a chandelier scene or not. Not all of them do. But this one definitely did not have a masquerade. I didn't take many notes on this. Like I said, this was my least favorite. The Phantom is the worst because he's not really an evil Phantom bad guy. He's just kind of a guy that then does bad stuff, towards the end. But he's kind of lame. Christine is the worst because she doesn't actively partake in much of the plot, but she's also leading both of these men on the whole time. And then, like, finally at the end of the movie, they both are trying to get her to go out to dinner with her, and she just like walks out, and then they're like, want to go to dinner, get together? And it's like, ha 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 ha. And I guess the guys become friends, but it's just like Christine is having way too much fun just playing with them. Which, like, not that she had to commit to them because they're both so much older than her, but like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And Raoul is the worst because he's so incredibly bossy. So yeah, all of them terrible. This is my least favorite version. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. If you've seen it, let me know what you think. Otherwise, have a good day.